I have this heart. It's like chalkboard heart that I picked up at Target for $3. And I'm going to start by using these dabbers. It comes in a set of 3. I picked these up at the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to start by using the largest one and some snow owl. I'm going to be putting the paint onto my dabber and just kind of dabbing on a plate. We're not going to make this dry like we do the stencils, but you don't want too much paint on there either. So I'm just going to get it to a nice medium load. I'm going to place the dabber down in the left corner and create a circle. And then right next to that, I'm going to create another circle and then another. So we have a total of 3 circles. Now, while the paint is still wet, I'm taking a very fine art brush. And we're going to be using some graphite slate. Paint is from Wise Owl. You can find it at chalkitupfancy.com. And we're going to be making these like half moon or half circles back and forth from the left side to the right side. And this is just something you're going to, it's what you think looks good, but you're just going to kind of create this. This is how I make my flowers. And they're just fun, easy flowers that you can make. Again, left to the right. And then you want to go in with a couple dark lines. You don't want to overthink these. And I'm going slow, and I know this is taking a little longer, but just for those that have never done this before, I wanted them to get a good visual on what I'm doing. And because the snow owl is still wet, it's also allowing you to get these more like a texture out of the circles. Again, at the end, I throw a few darker lines in. Try not to overthink them. Then I'm going to go in with some Spanish moss. And I'm making these green lines very fine, coming out where the circles meet. Then you're going to spin your heart and you're going to go into every area there where the circles meet. And you're going to do these 3 lines using the Spanish moss and a very fine art brush. Now this one was a little too long. And what's great is while the paint is still wet, you just take a baby wipe. If you make a mistake, it's very easy to lift back up. This one I threw an extra line in, so this one had 4. So now I'm taking my art brush and I'm just using these little white dots around the leaf area in the center And it's just kind of setting my little arrangement here off. I found this I Love Us at Hobby Lobby. It's one of the show-off brands. They're very inexpensive, $2.99. And on the right side of the heart, I'm going to use the word love. And I'm going to block out the I and the us. And then tape it down a bit so it doesn't move. Now, some of these lesser expensive stencils can kind of be a little on the floppy side. So I use an art brush tip, the stem, to hold it down. And this I'm using very little paint with my dabber so I get no bleed through. And then I'm going to connect my letters with an art brush. Once all the letters are connected, I had an issue with this key. This key did not hang nicely. It was always standing straight up. So I decided to take this little small hacksaw that I have and I cut it off. I said, well, if I can't salvage it, it looked better off than on. But I was able to glue it back together using some wood glue. And it went back together quite nicely. It was cut, pretty clean cut. So I literally just glued it back together. And just to make it look a little bit better, I took some chocolate from Wise Owl and painted all over the key. And then wiped it back almost like a stain. And it just made it a little bit darker. And it took your eye away from where the key was cut. Once that dried, I took this very sheer ribbon that I had and tied it around the key with a little bow. And I thought the white looked really pretty with the rest of the lettering. Just like did a simple knot and let the two ends hang. And then using some jute, I reattached the key hanging from the original jute hanger. And this laid much nicer and kind of hung down the way that I felt it should. And now you have this really cute Valentine's heart. But I really feel like this could be up all year in a bathroom or in a bedroom. So now I'm using my 2-inch palm brush and my salve by Wise Owl. You can find these at chalkitupfancy.com. And I'm giving my board just a top coat so I don't have to worry about my paint chipping or scratching or coming off. This is a wipe on, wipe off. It's made out of all essential oils. And here you go. Now you have this really cute Valentine's heart. For other tutorials, go check us out on YouTube. You can now watch us at chalkitupfancy.com. For any paint products, brushes, tissue paper, or transfers, chalkitupfancy.com.